Some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things as they never were and ask why not. For discovery consists of seeing what everybody else has seen and thinking what nobody has thought. After all, we judge ourselves but what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us but what we have already done, since the difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of world's problems. I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are 90% more hills to climb. I forgot my glasses. Okay. My name is Antoine, as you already know, and this is my university, Académie Libanaise des Beaux-Arts. I had a very good friend that always complains about, she speaks in French, and she said, 2 sacs en nylon pour 2 oranges means 2 plastic bags for 2 oranges. And, well, I'll be talking about sustainability. In 2009, in January, I received a mail from Helmut Langer, who's the former president of Ecograda, like Mary. And he asked me, how fast are your students? And he was actually working on a project with 11 universities, and we were the last one to join them. But my academy, just like my name, starts with A, so you have it on the top of the list. The project is about sustainability, and it's divided to 5 sections: society, environment, human rights, labor, and economic, which I will be explaining a little bit later. And there are 52 themes, and each theme represents one week. Since you were the last one to join, so we had the themes that no one wanted to work on. We had 10 themes for Alba. The idea was to publish a book, and the book was supposed to be translated into different languages. So the visual itself should communicate by itself regardless the language. So the main language was visual, and this is, for example, one section called Value Your Community, and they explained it in detail. And then you have the visual related, and then 2 extra pages for tips. And there is a code, as you can see, for every part there is a color. So this color green is for environment. Well, these are the themes that we work on in Alba. I'm showing the first one that was selected, and the other visuals. The first of the society project is Value Your Community. And, well, I didn't mention this, but the whole purpose is like, if you go sustainable, you earn more money. So it's for companies, and telling them if you are sustainable, you earn more money, and it makes them, it looks credible. So the first category is about valuing your community. And it shows that as much as you give to your community gives back to you. And it can be by donation, by volunteering work. So the visual here is like relating the community to the company. He's the same student. As you can see the names of the students down there. So it's the same idea of another visual. And he's also working on a third visual, shows about the community. So there's no writing, and if there's any writing, it would be just the name of the category, Value Your Community. And another student showed this with the community of bees, valuing them. And Sarah showed that the more you give, the more you take. And her second idea was like, you can see yourself in your community. And this is the last one in this category. The second one is compliance is the first step. And it's explaining that you should be complying to the rules and to the regulation of the sustainability. And if you do so, you advance in the right way. So, and if you don't, you have a yellow ticket, yellow card. So the second approach was like, if you're going on the right track, it means that you will be building in a good future, which is the stone is the first stone in the building. These two students did the first two and this one as well. It's the Atari version. I was really surprised because they knew Atari. Well, little by little you get the bigger prize. That's the third idea of them. Wissam, another student, completed the picture by connecting the dots on the company. And then another approach, the same one, with the same category is from Karine, and she's saying that once you comply to your company, you look like your company, actually. And this is another idea of hers. Next is get out the word. Communicate your success openly. And they're telling you that you should be communicating your ideas and your success to the people, and eventually people would love your company more and you will make more money. So everything is related to money. In this sense, people would go sustainable because they are convinced. And that's another version, which is, from another student. She did the two, simple illustration. Next one is about using marketing for a good cause. We're still in the society part, if you can see. So the idea was to use marketing for sustainable issues and like doing green things, sustainable events, and not only for marketing your own company. So they use different indexes and to show marketing, as you can see. And the next one is about environment. So we did 3 sections in ALBA, 3 out of 5. The environment is one of the categories is about pollution doesn't pay. So eventually they are telling you if your company is polluted, and then you have to spend more money, and so if you're not polluted, you have more savings, which is different versions of the pollution doesn't pay. Well, this is a nice installation by Guy as well, showing the Earth, how it was deformed by pollution. Next one is the minimized production input. It's very simple. The less you put, the less you spend, the more you make money. So that's the approach. If you put more materials, you pay more. And actually, when you start throwing all these things, you'll be eventually throwing the Earth, if you can see here, green. And Guy used 2 visuals for the funnel, which is a reverse funnel. And I think the picture speaks for itself. So you put a little bit and you get more. Like we say in judo, maximum efficiency, minimum power, maximum efficiency. Next one is about the transportation impact. And actually, they are telling you that if you use a certain kind of transportation, you will be saving money. And this is what Christine did, actually. She represented the ant, and I think it's the creature that can hold 20 times up her weight. So that's a smart way of transporting. And they are giving you tips, like if you use collaboration with other university companies, like say for example, a gallery with a bookshop, instead of transporting with 2 trucks, it can be 1 truck, and then you divide the price per 2. This is more of effect than cause. So this is how you'd be seeing the transportation. The bigger the transportation, the bigger the impact. And the CO2 of today is the cloud of tomorrow. So you can see here, oops, small child. Let's zoom in. And, well, you can understand, I guess. This one was one of my favorites, but the jury said it was too strong to be put in a book. So it's better to look at this side. It's brighter. Next category is about the labor. And this one, maximize your human capital. They're telling you that if you work on the employee, if you work on his head, he will be smarter, he will be bringing you more money. So if he's just showing a limited employee here, his head. So and this is another version, the blueprint of a perfect person, perfect employee. And then more skills with the employer. And the idea here is like, instead of having 9 squares, you have 36. It's multiplied by 4. The idea here of maximizing your human capital is the intellectual capital. So you can see as it's the extension of the books. Or the multitask person. So you realize all the communication is really visual because it's supposed to be in many languages. Make it comfortable. Saying if you're comfortable at work, you produce more, you're more productive, and of course you'll be saving money. So again, a new version of Mona Lisa. And this is the second one, making people feel comfortable at work. And a third one, the same student. Well, this is a fourth. So it really looks like a self-portrait because I have a terrible back pain when I'm sitting 10 hours on the computer. And that's also the same student showing other things about the computer. I think some of you experience this at work. Next one is reduce danger in the workplace. Well, danger, injury, or death. Actually, if you're injured at work, the company will still be paying you. So they will be paying people who are not working. So if they reduce danger, they will save money. So that was the visual, the first one selected. The second visual is not about Christianity, it's about death. So the cross is a symbol of death. And the third idea is about the motherly care. So no mother wants her son to be harmed. So it's the same student treating two ideas. And well, cutting onions is not very dangerous, but yeah, it can be useful. And this is the last one. So would you work sustainably? Who would work sustainably? Well, I think a lot of people have good intentions, but intentions are not enough. So if I ask you, would you work sustainably if I increase your salary? And it would make a change? Okay, thank you. Did you really think that I finished? No, I didn't. So we wanted to explore the project further research and more interest, and we wanted new implementation. So this is what I did. Like, the form is sometimes as important as the content. And I felt the potential and the necessity to explore this project further. So I was teaching a part-time course in another university, Notre Dame University. And there were 7 multidisciplinary students, and they wanted to attract attention differently, not only with posters. So they thought of a game, which also can be an application. It's really preliminary because it was only one course, 6 hours per week, and 7 students. But anyway, it's very promising for further exploration. These are the students. So there was one architect, one illustrator, 2 interior designers, 2 graphic designers, 1 animator, and the professors. We were 2. I was a professor. I teach visual communication, and Dr. Mahdi is an architect. So even the professors were different in fields. These are the themes that you are familiar with. And what we did, actually, we divided the themes, and we put some students responsible for every theme. Like if you see the blue ones, the Sharbil and the Masoud were responsible for the society, while, for example, Henry and Natalia were responsible for the labor. We started with the human rights, we explained a little bit about it, and then they started doing research and presentations for, I don't know, like half of the semester. Sharbil was an architect. He took 2 themes of the society: use marketing for a good cause, as you saw already, and support external sustainability initiatives. I won't go into details for all the categories. It's really to take a lot of time. The illustrator worked on value community and respect local culture and value. Respect local society and culture. Interior designer, three of them, 2 interior designer and graphic designer, work on the environment. So there's the design products for sustainability and pollution doesn't pay. And Chloe worked on every drop counts and turn off the lights. And well, Maya worked on think impacts from staff commuting and think of transportation impact. If you go through the book, which you don't have, you see that there are a lot of themes related. Like you can see think impacts from staff commuting and think on transportation impact, which looks very similar, but actually one is for the employees and the other one is for the company. So the themes are very close. Next category is about the labors, about the labor, motivate your employee or tell it that it is. And then the last one, he worked on make it comfortable or reduce danger in the workplace. So the themes implementation were in the game, which can be also an app. The game was to build a design studio for designers. So the first step was to design the building the design studio. The second was to hire the employees. And the third was to play the game. So these were the game components. And here, like every student worked in his own field. Maya, for example, she's a graphic designer. She worked on the menu. So you can see, well, it's just drafts about ideas. Henry, who is the animator, he was animating the game. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with animation, but like 4 seconds of animation might take a day. So it's really very basic what they did. That's an example. So they have the instructions, for example, and then a new game, and then you choose the location, Beirut, and you have the humidity, the wind, the sun, and you choose the location, and based on all that, you start constructing your own company, so to see if you're sustainable or not. So the illustrator was working on the character design. As you can see, the secretary, you have 2 options, and the assistant, you have 2 options. The first one was like more sexy and cool. The other one was more serious. So it depends on you what you want to do, which personality you want to choose, male or female designer, cool or whatever. So he created the characters, and then again, Henry, the animator, started animating the characters, also very basically. And then Sharbil worked on the needs of the design. So he's an architect. He was checking the functionality of the room and created the room. And then with the help of Chloe, they did the interior, and with the second interior designer, Salim, they created a little bit the interior. So that's what the game would look like, and then they will have to choose, for example, this is the partition, and in the partition they chose glass, and the glass they chose 20 millimeters, and this is how the office would look like. So anyone has all the options to choose whatever he wants to build. Again, with the illustrator, he worked on the interface, so all the pop-up menu and the details for cultural details and everything. So This is also a small animation about what they can do. That choosing furniture, you always have the choices, and you have a calculator which you don't see here. It's calculate how much you spend money and how much you are sustainable, and it's up to you to be sustainable, saving money. So I'm not going to show you, luckily for you, the 52 themes, how they implemented them. I'm just showing you some examples, like respect local society and culture. This is how it happens. They started, they have choices and they get points. And then after the first draft, they get a feedback, expectation from design. And here it says the level of success of your design is socially weak. You need to improve your work. So you go back and you choose more options, and luckily it goes better. So you are 80% more sustainable. Same goes for another category of the 52, provide what your customer really needs. And then they're starting choosing. And then after placing and constructing everything from scratch, you have the results. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit. And you have the financial status, environment, social status, and labor. And it's really details, like you have the initial capital, the client task, redesign the package, what else, the staff salaries, and everything is included. And you have actually 60%, so you can go and fix everything back. And here, if you go, like you see that in the environment, the material used, the eco-product certified, renewable resources, recyclable, appropriate for life cycle. You have all the percentages here. I don't know if you can see them. The emission level of CO2, of acoustic level in this decibel, the waste. So everything is here. And then, so the whole idea was to prove that sustainability is really related to money. And then with the money, you have interest. And with the interest, you have commitment. So sustainability, people would be committed to sustainability. So what's the 10% of commitment? It's R. Okay, now thank you. Very long.